welcome back to Elektro once more. I have the incredibly wonderful Vicious Precious, who many of you may know as Pretty Addicted. Now, Pretty Addicted is one of the hardest working and incredible artists on the scene because she's always putting herself out there. She's always working harder than most people out there. And she deserves a lot of recognition for that alone, let alone with music.
Thank you,
Which has been going on for 11 years now. So
I'm going to cry to start. I really appreciate you saying that.
Thank you. For those who aren't aware of your music, how would you describe yourself to people?
I mean, how to shorten it? Okay, I mean, I grew up in dance music. I love The Prodigy. I love 90s dance music in general. I grew up in Marilyn Manson. Like, I love the urgency of like angry trash metal and just heavy fucking dance music. I mean, I'm dancing my soul, you know, just that. Yeah, that just 90s dance house vibe. Yeah, definitely. So electronic, but with a hard, heavy edge.
It's very angry.
Yeah.
That's what we like.
I'm pissed off at my parents, you know. They fucked me up.
Now, Resistance, of course, UK famous, world famous.
Yeah.
What are your favourite things about Resistance, and why do you think Resistance is different to other places?
There's definitely a sense of community. I mean, I'm 35 tomorrow, so I'll be 35 when this comes out. And I've been, you know, going to Slime Night since I was 17 years old, and it's a bit like that, where, you know, it's like the same faces that you see as you're growing up. You know, recently we lost someone in the scene. Things like that, like you get to know the faces and it all becomes quite familiar. So I think Resistance is a bit like that, where you know you're going to see someone you know it's going to feel like nostalgia, familiarity, like a place where we can all feel like weirdos together but in a safe environment. So it's got that kind of like home feel, you know, and it's an honour to play, finally making our debut, and hopefully not the only time.
And is that the sort of thing that like draws you into this scene?
Yeah, absolutely. Like, I mean, say what you want about, you know, notorious, what's the word? You know, scandals and that, but you know, that's what kind of got me into like Manson as an early child, is like that whole like we don't fit in and we're odd. And you know, I grew up in a religious household, and it was like the anti-establishment, anti-religion, like, you know, like being weird and it being okay. You know, and I remember saying to my friends earlier when I was looking at the Resistance crowd, like, isn't it awesome that like all us weirdos get to be in the same place and not have to worry about like people looking at us in a way that's like, well, they're odd. You know, it's like, you're not odd, and actually the more weird the better, you know, and it's embraced. Yeah, so it feels like home.
It does.
Yeah.
Okay. And 11 years of Pretty Addicted now. What is one of your happiest moments?
Man, do you know what? They're all good. Like, I really like, every time I step out on stage, I feel this sense of humility and power that I've never had before. And I've, you know, so cringe kind of to use your own lyric, but when I wrote like, in my head, I'm a god, I'm a star, it's like when I step out on stage, I feel like none of my insecurities, none of my mental shit, none of my unconfidence or anything like bothers me. Like when I go out there, I am something, and every time I step out on stage it feels like I'm on top of the world. You know, if I'm playing to 5 people or 500 people, it's the moment to take back all the things that people took from me, where they told me I wasn't good enough, or that I'm shit, or that I'm ignored, or I won't be heard. So no, I'm going to be fucking heard. I've got this mic and you're going to fucking listen to me, and it's a powerful feeling. So all of it.
Yeah, I mean, you become your namesake. You become Vicious.
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
Okay. But
precious, you know, I'm a nice person. I pride myself on being a nice person and easy to work with, and I've never met a sound guy or a venue that told me I was a pain in the arse, wasn't polite. And I think that it's important to respect other bands and the people that work for the venue and the promoters, and everyone should be just ultimately kind. It's the coolest thing to be kind to people.
Yeah. On stage you can be a dick, but
take that away.
You need to be humble.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. And have you ever had a particularly touching fan moment in all these years?
Man, I mean, all of them. I mean, it kind of sounds vain, but honestly, I get messages all the time of, you know, your music has changed my life, and I never thought I would ever hear that, and it sounds so like strange to say out loud, like, but it's true. Like, I get, you know, people saying that there was a girl recently, her name's Jessica, shout out to you in Southend if you're watching. She said she learned all the words to my song Trauma because she knows that that's my favourite one, and when she comes to see me on tour she wants to sing them all to me, so she knows that she cares, as I know that she cares. You know, that's incredible, that my words, because for me words are really important, and I think in the electronic scene there's not enough words. I want to hear what the song's about. Tell me your story. You know, I love a story, I love your journey, I love your experience, and I want to hear, you know, words are beautiful. You know, it's poetry.
Right, so changing subject ever slightly. So the last few years have been batshit insane with COVID and the stuff we've seen on the TV. Do you have any crazy or serious predictions for the rest of this year?
For myself or for the music industry?
For the world.
The world. I think people have become really in tune with extremities on YouTube and stuff, because we all sat inside for so long watching the extreme sides of both ends. So I think we're all watching extreme left propaganda and extreme right propaganda, and it's all creating this narrative that isn't really real. I mean, the truth is somewhere in the middle. I mean, like, no one's all good and all bad, and we need to stop obsessing about, like, oh, this guy's a cunt in politics and this guy's a savior, because there's no such thing, you know, and we're all ultimately not rich, so we're not going to change anything, you know. So all you can do is change the small corner in your own world and make things better for the people around you, and hopefully try and make other people in your circle do the same thing, and then big change will happen in that way. But I think we all need to stop listening to so much extremity on the internet, because it's fucking with all of our narratives, and it's all irrelevant.
Your prediction is we're all going to become a little bit more empathetic by the end of the year?
Well, I guess my prediction is that it will get worse, but my hope is that it will get better, because I think people are like, you know, when you look online, you've got Andrew Tate and you know, Trump and this, and there's a lot of crazy, like, headline grabbing shit, and it's all crap obviously, but like, who cares? Because when you get on with your day-to-day life, you don't really think about these pricks, you just get on with your life. So like, why don't you just try and be a good person and show with your actions what you think is right, and other people might follow suit, and then big change might be made, you know. And for me, that's it. You know, your life is purposeful because you give it meaning. You know, most people can't change the world, but you can change your corner of it, and I really believe that that's important.
It is.
Yeah.
Okay. And if you were in charge of the country for a day, a week, or, you know, long enough to make some changes, what would be the first things you do?
I mean, I'll stop animal cruelty. Like, I mean, would it happen overnight? I don't know. I mean, fox hunting's got to go, and keeping animals in little bowls at SeaWorld's got to go. And I mean, I think, you know, unfortunately, it's a political issue. That's the one thing I do sort of put my hat on, that we shouldn't mistreat animals because they can't speak for themselves. So I guess that's my issue. Like, obviously I've got women's rights on my side, and, you know, people of colour and gay issues, and I support them all. But if I was to really try and change one thing, it'd be like, look, the animals can't speak for themselves, let's make some changes. Like, I can't make you not want to consume animal products, but we can at least stop the cruelty of it, you know. I mean, my family is Mediterranean, and there's a lot of bullfighting and things like that, and just at least get rid of the barbarity of it and then work our way through it. Yeah. I mean, anyone who's, I said it on stage earlier, anyone who's got an animal, put your hand up. And then I said, anyone would put that animal on a burger, keep your hand up. You know, it's like, think about it, you know.
Yeah, it is important.
Yeah.
And got a little patch on the back of my jacket that says, eat pussy, not animals. And,
I love that.
Kind enough to say that too, so.
And I mean, unless you mean cats.
Well, yeah.
Eat pussy. What guys don't eat pussy in 2023? Disgusting.
Yeah, man up. Alright, so if you had your dream festival, who would be your 3 headliners you'd put on?
Dead or alive?
Yeah, either.
Because I mean, I love the Prodigy, but is it the same without Keith? I don't know, time will tell. And I love Liam, we know that Liam writes everything, but Prodigy, Manson, I'm sorry, but you know, he's and I do love Hoseko very much. And like Hoseko, you know, I just love that fucking dark trance vibe they've got. So that, you know, and can I open
Yeah.
out of those three? Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Do you like a bit of Gary Newman as well?
We do.
He's an amazing performer. I think of all the performers I've seen in my life, he's in the top three. Just and the sheer, you talk about hard working, that man's worked his arse off for 50 years, you know, and well, 40 years, and his cult following, and cult in the non-weird way of saying it, that's the kind of thing I aspire to. So it's not like massive arenas where you've not got that intimacy with fans. Like what he's got with fans, I'd be honoured to have, like where, you know, you pack out 500 capacity venues for 30 dates, but they all see you on an intimate level and they appreciate what you do. Like he's got that ultimate fan base that for me that's something worth living for.
The emotional connection.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. And slightly different then, apart from obviously yourself, what band out there do you think deserves a bit more exposure, a bit more love?
Oh, there's loads, honestly, like especially on the DIY scene. I mean, I've always got to shout out the Soap Girls. I think they're amazing. You know, their story is incredible. They're sisters from South Africa who, you know, live out of a fucking suitcase to tour year round. They're doing really well. They're touring the US this year, so I hope that this is their breakout year. They're doing really well. God, anyone who cares about it, I'm rooting for everyone. I really am. Like, I love bands. I love going to bands. I said to my boyfriend earlier, I was like, how awesome that we get to live this life and see bands for free. Like, I love going to gigs, all of them. I want to see all of them succeed. I want to stand at the front and feel it for all of them. Yeah. So anyone who cares about it deserves it.
Okay. And what do you think are some of the biggest issues facing our community at the moment?
Oh, do you know, I was talking about this to Jamie earlier. Jamie Blacker from ESA, love him, shout out, electronic substance abuse. But in this community, in the industrial community, there's a sexism issue, 100%. There's a certain kind of woman that's allowed to progress. I'm not it. I feel very ostracized. That's why I left the industrial community years ago. And I feel like an occasional traveller rather than being welcome, because there's a certain kind of corseted, singing nicely kind of woman that's accepted, where she's or a keyboardist or a secondary character. There's not a lot of women who are angry and swear and scream. I mean, I don't know any in the industrial scene. I feel like it's a boys' club. I feel like there's a lot of growth to be made. I feel like there's a lot of 40-year-old men still clinging on to what they think it should be, and they're not allowing for anything new. And I think the promoters have to be questioned about paying people on time, and actually, fuck it, I'll be the one to say it. There's promoters out there that put you on, they give you exposure, and they pay you for your time.
Yeah, and I have to say, Resistance and Infest recently, a lot more females.
Resistance have paid me, by the way.
I've got to say that Resistance and Infest Festival, we're seeing a lot more females being put up, like female-fronted groups or DJs being put on. We're also seeing more queer artists. So if we see that a lot more, we'll be happy. Me and Vish may one day do a little joint festival.
Yeah, I would still love to do that. I would absolutely love to.
Mostly be sort of female or queer or just generally minorities. All we're thinking was like pretty electro or electro.
Yeah, I'm
something
into
like that,
it in a big, definitely.
Okay.
Look, I'm all about, like, look, I'll give someone the stage. It's up to them what they do with it. You know, I've been given a really cool opportunity. I'm doing a lot of gigs this summer. If you want to check them out, it's on the Pretty Addicted page and stuff. I'm doing a big summer tour, and I end the summer tour in a gig in Belgium called WFest alongside some amazing bands. And my booking agent in Europe said to me, look, I can get you this gig. It's up to you what you do with it. And, you know, it's my job to do a kick-ass show where people who are there go, I want to book her in this place, that place, that place. Look, I'll give anyone a stage. Anyone should be given the opportunity to be given a stage, and it's up to you if you fucking take that moment and go for it. But everyone should be given the opportunity to have that stage if they care about it. And I still feel like we've got a long way to go in giving women the same opportunity, queer people the same opportunity to be seen. Look, some people are given the opportunity and they're just not very good, and that's fine. But give everyone the same opportunity, and it's up to you what you do with it.
Yeah, and you said a minute ago about sort of feeling a bit ostracised from the community. So I was going to ask, is there a particular moment where you've nearly given up on everything Pretty Addicted wise?
Never.
No?
And I never fucking will.
Good.
But I have just gone, fuck the industrial scene quite a long time ago. Not in like the way that people do and they stay in it. Like that's why like I've done really well in the punk scene, the metal scene, and on my own basically, just like traveling around all the scenes. And it's actually really cool because I get to be put on a lot of different bills and see a lot of different things, and I feel like I actually quite, because I love all music and I get to experience the whole genre of it. But the one scene that sometimes I feel a bit separated from is industrial, and I love industrial, and it's very sad, but because it is ultimately a boys club and the girls that are allowed in are a certain kind of demure, beautiful female, and I'm perhaps not that, and it's time we all grew up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, what would you say are some of the best things about this scene, and other than what we've already covered, really the female things there, what other things do you think kind of need to improve too?
I mean, we need to be a bit more diverse. I think there's definitely a sound, and we've all sort of stuck with it, and we've gone, that's it. It's sort of like a paint by numbers type thing. We need to allow for different things, and I think that's what's been good about today. Every band that's on today has got a slightly different electronic sound, and it's been great. You know, we've had elements of metal, techno, we've got happy hardcore elements, the headline's got more EBM. Like there's a good, we're on Friday, Resistance, it's a good mix, and I think that's good because electronic isn't one thing. It's a lot of things. You know, we all kind of like the gothic subculture, but it doesn't mean we're all linked into one thing. You know, I mean, I grew up on the dance scene, like I said. I love trance music. I've gone to a lot of Paul van Dyk gigs. You know, I like sort of more electronic trance stuff, and I think we all incorporate different things, and we need to sort of let go of what's supposed to be and all just be a bit more free. And it's ironic because industrial is meant to be this whole separate from the norm thing, but we're all very rigid. Like, and can we just like stop the black paint? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
That we don't need 5 guys in leather jackets and black paint. We can move on. Like, let's.
Okay. And
that's all I'll say.
And some of the best things are?
Do you know, I love the urgency of it, the aggression. Like, we're all pissed off, but life is pissed off. You know, like I got no sleep last night. I did everything at the last minute. It's stressful, but I'm here, and that's the urgency of industrial. It's like it's all the aggression, anger. Like, let's channel it through a really productive way that we can all feel the emotion of it. And I love that. It's raw. It's ethereal. You know, it's visceral. It's everything. Like, I love it. So yeah, keep that part of it. Like, we're all pissed off at the world. We're pissed off at religion, at our families, our life. You know, let's do that without hurting anybody. You know, let's lose the misogyny a bit. You know, but apart from that, it's that raw anger that I love. Yeah.
And tell us about what's going on with Pretty Addicted at the moment. What have you got just come out? What have you got coming up?
So I've got a lot of new singles. What I've been doing this year in 2023 is I'm releasing a different single per month with a video. So I've been working my absolute arse off making these videos month by month. So we're in April, so there's 4 videos out now, 4 single releases. The album, the new one, is out in October, Satan willing. And and we've got a Summer Goths tour coming up from June to August. What I've done is basically every weekend in June, July and August, because I was like, no one's going to come out on a Monday. I'll just make 3 months of a rave, and me and Chris can go around and have the best time of our lives for 3 months, and that's what we're going to do. So catch us on tour. Live shows is where I feel alive and where all this life makes sense. You know, it's beautiful adventures, meeting people like yourselves, meeting other weirdos, meeting people that want to feel something, you know, like, and all that comes out. And when you look out in the crowd and someone's feeling it with you and they know the words, it just like your whole life just makes sense in that moment. So come see us on tour. It comes alive in shows, you know, and stream the stuff, you know. Like I say, I worked my arse off on it. If everyone just went to Bandcamp and paid £1 for a download and 1,000 people did that, I could fucking fund an album, you know. Like, they don't realise how much it costs. It's a choice I made, but if you like my music, support it. You know, music in general, your favourite artists, they're out thousands of pounds. If you like something, put a value on it. Stream it on Spotify by all means, but fucking buy it from Bandcamp as well, or buy the CD, or get a t-shirt or something. Just value it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And lastly, other than what you've just said there, anything else to say to your fans?
Hail Satan. No. Listen, music is life. We're not here for long, right? Just live it how the fuck you want in an honest way. I spent a long time in a religious cult. Be you, you know, like there is no God and you're the only person that's going to judge you. Do stuff honestly. Don't fucking hurt anyone. Rave. And it doesn't matter what you look like as long as you're a beautiful person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you ever so much, Fish.
Thank you, Connor. Thanks for making me look thinner this time. Leave that in.
Yeah, we did a little interview before, and
Well, I look like that.
The person holding the camera for me was too tired, so I put the camera on the floor. It was not a great angle, but thank you ever so much for trusting me to get another one right. Thank you.
Mine's a Jack and Diet Coke.
Diet Coke if you ever see her. And,
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you for watching.
Follow me on all the things.